got Yair Rodriguez, you've got the Korean Zombie, you've got Ortega, Volkanovski, and oh, by the way, there's a guy who happens to be a contender by the name of Max Holloway out there right now. What's up, Barnhill family? Welcome back to the channel.
Yo.
So, Nick, let's chat about the main event coming up this weekend. I know we're all still riding the high from UFC 263.
Absolutely.
But anytime the Korean Zombie's on a card, especially when he's across from Mr. 50K or Dynamite Dan or whatever it is he's going by now, Dan Ige, this is a great main event at featherweight, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd think after such a stacked card in Arizona, the UFC would have earned taking a weekend off, but no, they're going to give us a banger. This main event is awesome. Korean Zombie is a bigger star than anybody, even non-casuals, people that are really into the sport, realize. And Dan Ige is clearly looking to add Korean Zombie to his hit list. He's been on a bit of a tear as of late, and I both of these guys are can't miss. They're dynamite fighters, you know?
Yeah.
I like 50K more than I like Dynamite as a nickname for Dan Ige, but they both suit him very well.
What was the nickname you gave him that kind of encompasses both of them?
Dynamite Dan, the 50K man.
Dynamite Dan, the 50K man. Dan, you should use that one.
You're welcome, buddy. And, you know, the subliminal messaging behind 50K was great. Like, even if Dana had a few really good knockouts on the card and Dan was one of them, he might be more inclined to give Dan the money just because of the subliminal messaging with his nickname being 50K.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they up it to 75K again, if Dan temporarily changes his nickname. But it's going to be a great fight. I mean, listen, he's, aside from a setback to Calvin Kattar, he's 7-1 in his last 8.
Yeah.
And that was a decision loss. He fought in March 2021, defeated Gavin Tucker, got the loss back. He's back in the win column. Korean Zombie, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I was reading some statistics because he had mentioned wanting or preferring this to be a co-main event 3-round fight because he's done too many main events in a row. And I was like, hold on, how many main events has he done in a row? 8 is the answer.
My God.
8 consecutive main event spots for the Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jung. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, that speaks to how big he is. You know, everybody thinks of a Korean Zombie. They kind of know him. He's kind of like this big, larger-than-life figure, even though he doesn't say that much. And, you know, I guess over there he's really big. But over here, people don't realize just how big he is and how important he is in the featherweight division. A win over him, amongst the fighters, when you ask people in the back, a win over Korean Zombie, what it's going to do for your career, everybody says it elevates you right there into the next caliber of fighters.
For sure. I mean, look at Brian Ortega.
Right.
You know, he had a dominant performance over the Korean Zombie, and now he's going to be fighting for a title next. He's a coach on The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. That's
That's all not a direct result of beating the Korean Zombie, but it certainly didn't hurt.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And, you know, this Korean Zombie's 34 years old now. He's still the number 4 ranked featherweight in the division. Dan Ige is the number 8th ranked. This is a very close fight stylistically. The Korean Zombie's got 16 wins on his record, 6 of them coming by way of knockout, 8 of them coming by way of submission. Only needed the judges twice when he won in a fight that he won. Dan Ige, similar. I think it's 4-5, 4 knockouts to 5 submissions.
Okay.
Both these guys are very well rounded. They can knock you out. They can submit you. They're known for fight of the night bonuses, and I think this is going to be a very, very close fight.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, they are known for knockouts and known for finishes, but they're both also known for being tough as nails and very durable. So while, you know, at first glance, you're like, oh, Dan Ige, Korean Zombie, this is for sure going to end in a finish. Maybe I don't know which one's going to get the finish, but you sit and marinate with that a little bit longer, and you go, well, man, these guys are so just as durable as they are KO specialists. So I don't know. I kind of feel like this one might go all 5 rounds, which, you know, if Korean Zombie is wanting his way, he's going to want to get it done early within the first 3 rounds so he can basically not have to do those extra championship rounds. But I just feel like Ige is durable enough to go all 5, and as we know, Korean Zombie certainly is.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting that he did make the point to say he didn't want this to be a 5-round fight. Yeah. I literally, before we shot this video, I'm kind of like going back and forth in my mind as to who I think is going to win this fight. Yeah. But I think that, the concern and not wanting it to be 5 rounds, the Korean Zombie has been in some wars.
Right.
He was a bit of a stationary target towards the end of the fight against Brian Ortega. Got hit a little bit more than I would like to see for a guy who I think is going to, string together a few wins and fight for a title. And Ige is only 29 years old. He's young. He's hungry. He's ready for the 5-round war. He hasn't had as many wars as the Korean Zombie. I'm kind of leaning towards Ige to win this fight, but I think it's going to be very close, and I do think it's going to go all 5 rounds.
It's a good call. Korean Zombie has that durability that we were talking about, and what that can do to a fighter or an opponent is it can really start to play mind tricks with you. And when you start throwing everything at somebody, bad intended shots and everything but the kitchen sink, and they aren't going away, as a matter of fact, they're still moving forward, it can be kind of demoralizing for you, and you start wondering, what the heck do you have to do besides survive to win this fight? And it can be really tough mentally for you to deal with, especially in a 5-round fight where you have to go 10 extra minutes than you're used to going. So if you're going Ige, I think we both see this fight going all 5 rounds. I'm going to go Korean Zombie just because I think he's going to get hit a lot by Ige, but it's not going to put him out. And then eventually he's going to start to bring some pressure, and it's something that Ige can't really deal with. Plus, I don't really see a world where Korean Zombie goes on a bit of a losing skid.
Yeah, when you're talking about big fight experience, the Korean Zombie certainly has the advantage there.
Right.
When you're talking about main event experience, he's got the advantage there. He's got the gas tank. He's shown that he can just be in a dogfight, be in a war, and come out victorious in a lot of those instances. However, those wars do add up over time. We see it with Cowboy. Now, I don't think Korean Zombie is anywhere near the level of damage or in his career where Cowboy is now.
Right.
But just to give an example of somebody who's been in a lot of wars. And I think that Dan Ige, in his late 20s, the number 8 guy in the division, he's finally cracked the top 10, and he's looking to establish himself as a real contender in a division that's very stacked right now. You've got Yair Rodriguez, you've got the Korean Zombie, you've got Ortega, Volkanovski, and oh, by the way, there's a guy who happens to be a contender by the name of Max Holloway out there right now. So I think Dan Ige is going to look to have a statement win. I think it's going to be kind of almost how Rob Font was looking to have that statement win against Cody Garbrandt. I see it kind of a similar situation. You've got a guy who's taking on a big name, who this guy's he's got a great legacy in the Korean Zombie, but it's been kind of back and forth lately. He's been through some wars and and the young, hungry fighters looking to make his name off of them. I don't know that Ige is going to knock out the Zombie and make his name in that way, but I do think he's going to be a little bit sharper, a little bit hungrier. And I think the Zombie, if it's the same Zombie we saw against Ortega, is going to be a little bit easier to hit in the later rounds. And Ige has shown that he's gotten very precise with his striking lately. So for all of those reasons, I think I'm going to pick Ige to win a close decision that goes all 5.
Yeah, I think both fighters win some rounds in this. And I'm going to go with Zombie. I think he's going to overwhelm him, especially later in the fight. And, Ige is super, super tough as well. He's super durable. He's going to take some of the best shots that Zombie can make. But I think Zombie has probably addressed some of these issues that he was having. If you go back and watch his own film, he would realize just what he was doing wrong in those fights. And I think he's smart enough of a fighter to make the adjustments and come back stronger so he can get back in the win column, because everybody wants to see a winning, contending Korean Zombie. And make no mistake about it, whoever these two guys get paired up with after this fight, it's going to be a tough night out, because 145 is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's becoming one of the most exciting divisions.
That's for sure.
Well, guys, we have a rare situation where Nick and I have differed in our opinions and our predictions, so settle the score for us in the comments. Does Mr. 50K Dan the Dynamite Man get this done, or does the grizzled veteran in his 8th consecutive main event, the Korean Zombie, pull out a tough and well-deserved win? We always love chatting with you guys there. If you've enjoyed this content, a like, comment, and subscribe is much appreciated. It helps us out tremendously. Enjoy the fights, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.